I'm James.
And we're in Becoming One, and we are here for Bible in a Year, second day. So just giving you guys heads up. I'm going to scoot this back a little bit. All right.
Just know that our times may change.
Yes,
But when we jump
especially in
on,
the first 2 weeks, we're trying to figure out what is going to be the best time
right?
for us. What's the best time for you? You're welcome to put it in the chat of what time is best to listen, to hear, to do whatever. And yeah, so just giving you guys heads up. Again, we will actually, I first want to start with an apology because we didn't think about it until we got off last time,
Yeah,
yesterday, that we did not pray, whether before or after. And so I want to go ahead and apologize for that.
yeah.
Um, we just jumped right in. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and have James start us off, not me. And
God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all that you have done, all that
yes,
you continue to do for us, God. We ask that you help us as we are reading your word. We ask that you continually strengthen us and build us up, God. We know that we are doing this according to the way that you would have us to do and go. And we ask that you bless us and strengthen us, God. We ask that you give us discernment and give us the words to say as we are discussing. In Jesus' name, amen.
amen. Well, thank you so much for starting us off in prayer. And we're going to read again. Just in case you are just now joining us for the first time, we are not theologians, so
Nope.
throwing that out there.
But we are
And
reading God's word.
and this is not a Bible study. This is actually a Bible reading through the Bible in 1 year. We're not here to answer every single deep theological question. We
Right.
don't have all of the answers, but what we do have is a God who can answer your questions. We're going to encourage you to put questions in the chat. We can try to answer. We will answer what we can. We are
Mm-hmm.
not in any way going to give you just up our crazy opinions. Everybody has opinions, but we're not out
No.
here trying to offer up all of our opinions, but instead we're here to read the word, talk about the word, and learn from the word. You're not learning from Lawanda. You're not learning from James. We are all in this together, learning from God and asking Him to help us as we continue growing in our faith. And hopefully you decide you want to join us in the journey. Now, just giving you heads up, we are on a plan. So the plan is called the Bible
Overbrew.
OverBrew. And so you can go in the description, whether I'm not sure if it shows now, but certainly afterwards you can join our plan there as well. And that's where you're going to post like in-depth questions. We have a small little community that you are welcome to join us in through YouVersion, and we can encourage one another on that. So let's go ahead and jump in, unless you have something else to
No,
share.
I just agree. This is a Bible reading, not really a Bible study. We may discuss a couple of things, but this is just a Bible reading, and we wanted to be transparent as we read through the Bible with ourselves as well as with you, who's all listening. So Genesis.
And we're reading through the Berean Standard Bible, just in case you wanted to know that.
So we read Genesis chapter 5 through Genesis chapter 9. And this is the book of the generations of Adam. And the day that God created man, he made him in his own likeness. Male and female, he created them. And he blessed them. And in the day they were created, he called them man. When Adam was 130 years old, he had a son in his own likeness, after his own image, and he named him Seth. And after he had become the father of Seth, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. So Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. When Seth was 105 years old, he became the father of Enosh. And after he had become the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. So Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh was 90 years old, he became the father of Kenan. And after he had become the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. So Enosh lived a total of 905 years, and then he died. When Kenan was 70 years old, he became the father of Mahalalel. And after he had become the father of Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. So Kenan lived a total of 910 years, and then he died. And when Mahalalel was 65 years old, he became the father of Jared. And after he had become the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived at 830 years and had other sons and daughters. So Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, and then he died. When Jared was 162 years old, he became the father of Enoch. And after he had become the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. So Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch was 65 years old, he became the father of Methuselah. And after he had become the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. So Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more, because God had taken him away. When Methuselah was 187 years old, he became the father of Lamech. And after he had become the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. So Methuselah lived a total of 969, and then he died. When Lamech was 182 years old, he had a son, and he named him Noah, saying, "May this one comfort us in the labor and toil of our hands, caused by the ground that the Lord has cursed." And after he had become the father of Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. So Lamech lived a total of 777 years, and then he died. And after Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Before we move into Genesis 6, I know everyone is talking about, man, how long did they live? Different things like that. I think this is an interesting thing. If you've ever tried reading through the Bible all the way through from front to back, sometimes these sections get really boring feeling, and they sometimes kind of get you off track and get you, not really wanting to read. But I do encourage you guys to read these. I call them begats, where so-and-so begat this person and this person had this person. Because every once in a while, God has something for you in that small little thing. Every once in a while, you might find a woman is being born or being mentioned with a small little tidbit of information, or there's like, sometimes every once in a blue moon, there's like a little nugget there. Sometimes even doing word studies on their names is helpful to understand what was going on in these years, because names actually matter during that time. Mm-hmm. So I do want to encourage you, and just keep in mind of these years, because there's going to be a mention about why we don't live to 900 years old anymore, or why women didn't start having children until 500 years old. Now, why don't we do that? So just put this in your back pocket and walk through it, okay? So we're going into Genesis 6. Now, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took as wives whomever they chose. So the Lord said, "My spirit will not contend with man forever, for he is mortal. His days shall be, 120 years." The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and afterward as well, when the sons of God had relations with the daughters of men, and they bore them children who became the mighty men of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great upon the earth, and that every inclination of thoughts of his heart was altogether evil. Altogether evil all the time. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man, whom I created, from the face of the earth, every man and beast and crawling creature and bird of the air, for I am grieved that I have made them. Noah, however, found favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth. And you heard about them in the last chapter. So you saw there was a little pin. So put that in your pocket, write it down. Now the earth was corrupt in the sight of God and full of violence. And God looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all living creatures on the earth had corrupted their ways. Then God said to Noah, the end of all living creatures has come before me, because through them the earth is full of violence. Now behold, I will destroy both them and the earth. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and coat it with pitch inside and out. And this is how you are to build it. The ark. Now we're going to go into dimensions, blueprints, technical things. It may seem as if it's boring, not very important. These are important for Noah at that moment. So just keep that in mind. He's getting plans to be a project manager, and he's writing this down like somehow, okay? The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. You are to make a roof for the ark, finish its walls, a cubit from the top, place a door in the side of the ark, and build lower and middle and upper decks. And behold, I will bring flood waters upon the earth to destroy every creature under the heavens that has the breath of life. Everything on the earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, and you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. And you are to bring 2 of every creature into the ark, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird and animal and crawling creature will come to you to be kept alive. You are also to take for yourself every kind of food that is eaten and gather it as food for yourselves and for the animals. So Noah did everything precisely as God had commanded him. We're getting ready to move into Genesis 7. If you are just now popping in with us, make sure you're getting to Genesis 7. We're reading from Berean Standard Bible.
Then the Lord said to Noah, go into the ark, you and all your family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. You are to take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, a pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate, and 7 pairs of every kind of bird of the air, male and female, to preserve their offspring on the face of all the earth. For 7 days from now I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living thing I have made. And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came upon the earth. And Noah and his wife and his sons and their wives entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. The clean and unclean animals, the birds and everything that crawls along the ground came to Noah to enter the ark, two by two, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days, the flood waters came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. And the rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On that very day, Noah entered the ark, along with his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and his wife, and the three wives of his sons. They and every kind of wild animal, livestock, crawling creature, bird, and winged creature. They came to Noah to enter the ark, two by two, every creature with the breath of life. And they entered, the male and female of every living thing, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. For 40 days the flood kept coming on the earth, and the waters rose and lifted the ark high above the earth. So the waters continued to surge and rise greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the waters. Finally, the waters completely inundated the earth, so that all the high mountains under all the heavens were covered. The waters rose and covered the mountaintops to a depth of 15 cubits, and every living thing that moved upon the earth perished: birds, livestock, animals, every creature that swarmed upon the earth, and all of mankind. Of all that was on dry land, everything that had the breath of life in its nostril died. And every living thing on the face of the earth was destroyed, and livestock, crawling creatures, and birds of the air, they were blotted out from the earth, and only Noah and those with him in the ark remained. And the waters prevailed upon the earth for 150 days. Genesis 8.
I'm going to just finish this. So we are going to be reading through the Old and New Testament, but it's going to take us a little while to get to the New Testament. Just giving you guys a heads up. We are going into Genesis 8. So Genesis 8 says, "But God remembered Noah and all the animals and livestock that were with him in the ark. And God sent a wind over the earth, and the waters began to subside. The springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens were closed, and the rain from the sky was restrained. The waters receded steadily from the earth, and after 150 days, the waters had gone down. On the 17th day of the 17th month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, however you say that. And the waters continued to recede until the 10th month. And the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. After 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven. It kept flying back and forth until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then Noah sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest her foot, and she returned to him in the ark, because the waters were still covering the surface of all the earth. So he reached out his hand and brought her back inside the ark. Noah waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove from the ark. And behold, the dove returned to him in the evening with a freshly plucked olive leaf in her beak. So Noah knew that when the waters had receded from the earth, and Noah waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again. But this time she did not return to him. In Noah's 601st year, on the first day of the first month, the waters had dried up from the earth. So Noah removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. By the 27th day of the second month, the earth was fully dry. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife, along with your sons and their wives. Bring out all the living creatures that are with you, birds, livestock, and everything that crawls upon the ground, so that they can spread out over the earth and be fruitful and multiply on it. So Noah came out along with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives. Every living creature, every creeping thing, and every bird, everything that moves upon the earth came out of the ark, kind by kind. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord. I think it's important for us to take this moment to talk, just to say, altars are going to show up all throughout the Bible. Take it as a moment, as to think about it as a memorial. Okay, so just wanted to say that. And taking from every kind of clean animal and clean bird, he offered burnt offerings on the altar. When the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, he said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from his youth. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease."
And chapter 9 is round the corner. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall on every living creature on the earth, every bird of the air, every creature that crawls on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. They are delivered into your hands. Everything that lives and moves will be food for you, just as I have given you the green plants. I now give you all things. But you must not eat meat with its life blood still in it. And surely I will require the life of any man or beast by whose hand your lifeblood is shed. I will demand an accounting from anyone who takes the life of his fellow man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man his blood will be shed. For in his own image God has made mankind. But as for you, be fruitful and multiply. Spread out across the earth and multiply upon it." Then God said to Noah and his sons with him, "Behold, I now establish my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and every beast of the earth, every living thing that came out of the ark. And now I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be cut off by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth." And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I form clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and every living creature of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. And whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of every kind that is on the earth." So God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and every creature on earth." The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. And these three were the sons of Noah, and from them the whole earth was populated. Now Noah, a man of the soil, proceeded to plant a vineyard, but when he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and uncovered himself inside his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's nakedness and told his two brothers outside. Then Shem and Japheth took a garment and placed it across their shoulders, and walking backward, they covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away so that they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his drunkenness and learned what his youngest son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be to his brothers." He also declared, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the servant of Shem. May God expand the territory of Japheth. May he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant." After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. So Noah lived a total of 950 years, and then he died.
Okay, so that is the end of our reading for today. But there's a couple of things that we want to kind of just remind ourselves on. We actually started in talking about Noah, and I think it's interesting because as we started talking about Noah, there was a whole bunch of crazy happening, really, like just evil, dark times, people just doing things wrong, and God was not seeming to find good in them and was feeling grieved. And I think that that's such an interesting word that was used because most people don't want to walk through grief still to this day.
Right.
And I think it's important, number one, that we can easily see that God was dealing with grief then too, the loss of his love, right? He made his people in order to also have love with us for love for him. And he was not getting that experience with
Right.
his people. And they were trying to find everything else to fulfill and satisfy their ways,
their desires.
Yeah, and so I think that's interesting. And you would think if we were watching a movie, right? Well, it sounds like a meteor is about to hit, and everybody's going to be gone. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Noah shows up on the scene. And it's almost like we've got a whole Adam again, right? Like he's not Adam, but it's almost like another Adam shows up on the scene. If we're watching this movie, if it was a movie, then we would be like, oh, is he the one? Is he the one we're waiting for?
This is our second chance.
Right. This is another chance, right? And so I think that it's interesting. We're going to have moments like this throughout the Bible where we experience times of darkness,
right,
and we're going to wonder, or at least the people during that time is wondering, is this the new hero?
right.
You know, and we all know that there's, you know, that doesn't really actually happen until Jesus comes along, but that's what we're here for, is to learn, how did we get to Jesus? How did we get to us? How do we play a part in this Bible reading?
And some parts of this word don't go into it, but as Noah was building his ark, and you know, and he was telling folks, "Hey, rain is about to come," and you know, something about to happen, and people were just like, "Man, get out of here! You don't know what you're talking about."
Right, because I guess when we think of it that way, it's like rain didn't yet exist.
Right.
So what do you?
Like, what are you saying, dude?
What are you talking about?
Ain't no rain coming.
You know how, I don't know if anybody else, you know, you're walking on the street and then you see like a homeless person who's dealing with some mental health issues, and then you're like, I don't know, let me walk away. That's kind of probably the situation that was in this moment. They were probably thinking he was a little on the crazy side.
Right.
And everything. He's getting all kinds of wood together and building this boat, but they don't know what the term is, and he's calling it an ark, and they don't know what the world is going on. So I just think it is an interesting thing. There was a couple of words that shows up for the first time in the Bible as well. So we've got ark, we've got altar, we have covenant. Covenant shows up. I think that's an amazing word, because we need that word as we continue to move forward. It's a place of commitment. It's a place of binding, a binding, right? Like contract almost. And God always fulfills his side of the contract. We tend to be the ones who don't. So just saying, it's just kind of interesting of where we're at and how it's going to play out in this historical reading, you know.
So we're just reading through the Bible in a year, and our YouTube is in becoming one. I see somebody that asked that question.
Yeah, and our this channel is about growing together in marriage. So whether you are in a marriage or you are preparing for marriage, if you're a Christian and you're trying to walk out your marital relationship, one thing that you will experience is sometimes there's not enough authenticity in people who are married. They're not all the time being open and vulnerable, and that's exactly what we're here to do. Our hope is to provide you resources along the way, and we're kind of just in the place of getting started. We're regular everyday people. We've got 5 kids, 7 going on 7 grandkids. Seven grandkids, and we've had life, and so we're going to be here to continue to grow together. You're welcome to join us.
Just know that we are not perfect. However, I can tell you from a husband's standpoint, I was not always on board when it came to things that my wife done or things that my wife subscribed us to or things that my wife did.
I drug them along sometimes.
But I wanted to make sure that if we're going to grow and make an impact for other couples, that means we need to go together. You know, she can't go in front and I'm in the back. So now it's one of those things that we are side by side in everything that we're doing to make sure that we're going together as a couple, as well as going to help other couples out as well.
And sometimes that may take a little time. So that is completely understandable. In the meantime, pray. And we have a whole page, like a playlist of a year's worth of us praying together, and that may encourage you in your journey.
Yep. So what did you get from 5 through 9?
Yeah. So if you have something that you got, what is one takeaway that you received? And heads up, if you are in need, someone stated, if you're needing counseling, absolutely. We know some marriage counselors or coaches in San Antonio. They do virtual Redeeming Steps Ministry. I'll put their link in as a post, and you guys can have that as we continue moving forward. But anyways, we love that you guys jumped in. We'll take a few moments of reading through what is one takeaway that you got from Genesis 5 through 9. What is one takeaway that you got? One takeaway.
I need to buy a boat.
I don't know if that's exactly, if God told you, then, you feel confident enough to say that, then maybe, but,
That's a good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to go ahead and knock that off of here. That is weird. Okay. So other than that, anybody else? No problem. Well, we welcome you guys to join us. Continue coming back. As I've said, or as we said in the very beginning of this is our second day in reading through the Bible in a year. So we're going to be here every day.
We got at least 363 days to go.
Yes, and actually we will be doing lives 5 days out of the week and then 2 days off to give you guys a short little break. And then we'll get back to it again. So each day we're going to be doing a little bit of whatever. But our plan isn't working like that. And so we'll figure it out. Over the next 2 weeks, we're trying to figure out the actual time that we will do this YouTube live every day. Right now, we're just trying to figure out what works for us and what works for you all. So we thank you guys for joining us. That's it. Yeah. If you liked it, press like. If you want to continue following us, press subscribe. We love you guys. Ciao. Oh, I guess you're going to have to reach it because I'm short.
Oh, my.
Bye, y'all.